Hello, we're Ian and Niamh. A little over a year ago, we bought a rundown 1930s house in the Buckinghamshire countryside, and since then we've been navigating life with a new baby while renovating our home room by room. Follow our journey as we transform this tired old house into a beautiful family home. Welcome back to another week of our home renovation journey. In this week's episode, we continue work in the living room, finishing off the last of the plasterboarding, doing some repairs on the door frame along with some other snagging jobs, and of course tackling the fireplace. We really hope you enjoy this episode and thanks so much for watching.
What the plan is today is we are going to have a big tidy up, get everything sorted because we are finishing the living room. So Dad's popping over, we're going to finish boarding out the walls. We are going to try and get the fireplace lined and possibly the hearth down. We still need to buy some stone. That's been a saga, but we'll tell you about that later. And then once that's all done, we're ready to tape and joint this room, get it painted, carpet down, and we've got another room to use. So, time to crack on. Right, what we're up to now is we're moving the light switch from one side of the wall to the other because we're going to flip the way the door opens so that you walk straight into the room. Otherwise, as it opens at the moment, you kind of lose a big patch in the room where we can't put furniture and whatnot. So Dad's just cutting some holes in the ceiling to try and feed the cable through. Want to do that? No, I've lost it. Feed the cable through, down the wall, so we can have it this side. Then we've got to do the jiggery pokery with the door frame, same as we did upstairs, which we've got some bits of wood we're going to try and stick on the edge and bring it out forward and do all that bits.
Once the cables had been removed, Ian and Pete built some boxing to hide the radiator pipes, and with that done, the last wall was ready to be plasterboarded. While it might look like there was a lot of standing around in the time lapse, this is because you have to wait 5 minutes each time for the plasterboard adhesive to harden up. It was then on to the tricky task of cutting the flue to length so that they could begin boarding out the fireplace.
So, got Dad back again today. What he's going to be doing is putting a bonding coat on that fire surround, basically just to make sure that we're not using too much filler to stick the plasterboard on. We want it level with this. We also want to try and square off the fireplace so it's actually plumb. So yeah, it's just building a frame around it that you can then plaster up to. So it makes sure it's all level. It'll be level with the lintel. This will be level with that. And then hopefully it means it's all square. We can stick boards on it, make it look nice. And then yeah, the lining boards will go on the inside of the chimney breast. It's going to take some thinking because you can only have a stop bead on the outside and plaster on the outside. If you start putting plaster on the inside of these chimney breasts, they'll start cracking when the fire gets lit and it heats up. So we've got to make sure the concrete board stops first. Plasterboard lines up to the edge. Does it sit just in front? Possibly just sits right in front. Need to think it through. But yeah, just making sure the opening is nice and neat for the fireplace. Simon continues with the stone. We're not going to get that for a few weeks, so can't do the hearth. Got to do the hearth first before we do the inside lining. But we have now cut the flue down, so we're not tripping over it as we walk around, which is good. I'm going to make a start on the door linings. Dad's carrying on building the framing out for that, and then we'll see him put the bonding coat on. And I'll hopefully get that finished, and then we can board out this bit. And then, yeah, windowsill might be the other job to do today. So, cracking on. Ooh, look at them. Right. It's a shame those clamps don't just wedge in between the two, isn't it? similarly to upstairs, we've got to add a bit of wood onto the edge here so that we can then have something that the plasterboard fixes up to. Problem is, it's got quite a lot of paint on this edge, so I'm going to have to try and take that off. I'm going to use the blowtorch, heat it up, and use the scraper just to try and get rid of that. Then we will cut and glue a piece of timber to fix onto that. Plasterboard can butt up to it. It's going to be like we did upstairs, where it's going to look a bit messy, but it's done. We'll use a lot of filler. But trying to rip out that door frame and replace it with a new one that's wide enough would be such a headache. Likelihood all that wall would end up coming down when you pulled it out. It's fixed in with nails that go halfway through the wall, so be a bit of a headache. But we'll get that done, build it out, then we can board out that last bit of wall. Yeah, making progress. On today's agenda, it is taping and jointing these walls. So we did think about getting them plastered. I know a lot of people are pretty anti-taping and jointing just because they think the finish isn't as good. It does take a bit of time to perfect the art. I don't think I'm terrible at it. And for a bag of easy fill, it's 30 quid compared to probably £700 or £800 it would cost to get this whole room plastered. So taping and jointing is the way to go. Because we've used the plasterboard adhesive, there's not huge numbers of holes, screw holes that need filling. It is just the joints. I'm using the webbed tape as opposed to the paper tape. A lot of the info that I've read on forums and on YouTube say that the paper tape is superior, but whether it's just my skill and ability, I really struggle to not get air bubbles in it. And so I actually prefer the mesh tape. Goes on a lot easier and yeah, seems to work really well for me. So that's what I'm using. Right, this is going to start setting off, so I better get going. Right. As you can see, we've finished the boarding, so I've actually already got started on the taping and jointing, and today I'm going to give it another coat. Hopefully that will be the final coat before we just need to sand it back and spray it. I don't love taping and jointing. You've seen a whole load of me doing it upstairs. I've done a bit again down here, but I think I might actually give plastering a go in the next room, just because I'm basically where I'm trying to feather it out so thin, almost plastering the whole room just in easy fill. So it sort of makes sense to actually give it a go with plastering. Plus the actual finish I'm getting just with the trowel is pretty good. So that's what I think I'm going to have a go at. But today I'm going to mix up another batch of easy fill, work on the ceilings, finish up tidying up the walls, and then hopefully that will be the end of it. I can sand it all back and give it a spray. So I'll put you on time lapse and away we go.
And that's it for another week. Ian is very happy to be finally finished with all the taping and jointing. It is really not his favourite job. Tune in next week to see the fireplace hearth installation and the lining of the inside of the fireplace. As always, if you'd like to see more of our videos, please do not forget to subscribe. And thank you so much to everyone for following along so far. See you next week.